You ever think you know someone? I mean, really know them. That was Mark. He thought his wife, Lisa, was the love of his life. They had been together for 8 years, married for 5. They built a life together, shared dreams, planned for the future. Mark worked hard, built a stable career, always making sure Lisa had everything she wanted. He wasn't perfect, but he loved her. God, he loved her. But love, it seems, isn't always enough. It started small, the little things. Lisa became distant, distracted. She started spending more time on her phone, always texting, smiling at messages she never shared. She started dressing up more, even when she said she was just running errands. She started coming home later, saying she had extra work, new projects, or suddenly planned girls' nights that had never been a thing before. Mark noticed. Of course he did, but he told himself not to overthink it. People change, right? Maybe she was just going through something. Maybe she was stressed. Maybe he was just being paranoid. Then came the moment, the one that shattered everything. One Friday night, Lisa told Mark she was going out for dinner with her friends. He smiled, kissed her goodbye, and told her to have fun. An hour later, he was sitting on the couch, mindlessly scrolling through his phone, when her iPad, still synced to her phone, lit up on the coffee table. It was a message, a simple text, but it changed everything. "I can't wait to see you tonight." Mark felt his stomach drop. His hands shook as he picked up the device, his heart pounding. He stared at the screen, praying that somehow, someway, he was wrong, that it wasn't what it looked like. But then he scrolled. Weeks of messages, late-night conversations, hidden affection, flirty texts, pictures, secret plans to meet at a hotel. Mark read every word, feeling something inside him die with each message. He wasn't imagining things. He wasn't crazy. Lisa was cheating. The realization hit like a truck. His chest tightened, his breathing became uneven. He felt sick, but he didn't react. Not yet. Instead, he waited. That night, Lisa came home late, just like she said she would. She walked in, smiling, kissing him on the cheek like nothing had happened, like she wasn't just with someone else, like she wasn't lying straight to his face. And Mark? He played along. He didn't confront her. Not yet. The next day, he made a plan. He left work early, told his boss he wasn't feeling well. Then he did something he never thought he'd do. He followed her. Lisa had said she was going shopping, but instead, Mark watched as she drove across town, parked in front of a fancy restaurant, and stepped out of the car. And then he saw him. The other man, tall, well-dressed, confident, the kind of guy who knew he could take what he wanted. Mark watched as Lisa smiled, really smiled, and kissed him. Right there, in the open, like she had nothing to hide. His heart broke, but he didn't react. He didn't storm over. He didn't scream, didn't fight. Number. He had a better idea. That night, he planned a romantic dinner. Candles, wine, her favorite meal. Lisa came home unsuspecting, her fake smile still in place. "Wow, what's the occasion?" she asked, laughing, setting her purse down. Mark poured her a glass of wine, then slid a small box across the table. She hesitated. "What's this?" "A surprise," he said, keeping his voice calm. Lisa smiled until she opened the box. Inside was a USB drive. She looked at him, confused, then plugged it into her laptop. The screen lit up with security footage from the hotel, from the restaurant, her, the other man, together. She gasped, her face going pale. "Mark, I can explain." He just shook his head. "Don't bother." Lisa's eyes filled with tears. "It was a mistake. It didn't mean anything." Mark let out a bitter laugh. "Didn't mean anything. You've been lying to me for months. You've been sneaking around acting like I'm some idiot who wouldn't notice. You threw away everything we had. For what? For him? Tears streamed down Lisa's face. She reached for his hand, but he pulled away. Mark, please, I love you. He stood up. Number, you don't. Mark grabbed his keys and walked to the door. Lisa sobbed, begging, but he didn't stop. Some betrayals you don't come back from. Subscribe and like this video if this story was interesting for you. And remember, Jesus loves you so much.